Hey James, what's going on?
What's up, Tyler?
What's going on? Hey, I'm sitting here, day in and day out, looking at what's going on around the league. I'm gonna tell you, NFL man, it's shaking up. We got running backs going damn near everywhere. Dalvin Cook, one of the bigger ones here recently, getting his signing in.
Huge shakeup.
Huge shakeup there. Um, and then we got over there on the same team over in New York. I mean, we're talking. We got somebody, Aaron Rodgers heading out to New York. He's doing his thing, so um, he's no longer going to be, eating up the
Is he
Bears.
really doing his thing, or is he just following his mentor's footsteps? Like, let's be real
Hey,
about that.
the way I see it is, he's out of the NFC North.
I'm grateful for that.
That's
But is
that
he
to
doing
me.
his own thing, or is he following what Brett Favre did?
I don't know. I mean,
He's following what he did. T for T. That is what Brett Favre did. He went to the Jets, shit the bed. Maybe Aaron Rodgers will change it up and show he's actually better than Brett Favre, but he hasn't done so far.
not yet, not yet at least. No. I mean, how many playoff wins is he accumulated? And how many Super Bowls does he have under his belt right now?
One. One.
That's my point. That's my point. I mean, this man look crazy out there. Um, But let's talk in. Let's kind of hone in each division. Kind of talk about kind of what's going through each division. Starting in the
Okay.
NFC North, I think we know that one kind of the best. And then hopefully we get some viewership in, and they have some input in on some other divisions. We can kind of go through them as well. Um, so starting in the North, your Lions. Let me hear your insight as to what you got going on in your Lions team. I'm feeling pretty
Well,
confident in them.
I'm feeling confident. I am, but now that we signed Teddy Bridgewater as of what, week and a half ago, feeling a little less confident. Bridgewater has a way of working his way into being the starting quarterback via injury. That means Jared Goff's going to get injured this year, um, and I do think we're a second place team. I think we are an 8 to 9 win team. I think the Bears are a 7 to 8 win team. I do think Kirk Cousins definitely walks away with it. And hey, the Packers are going to be lucky to win 3 this year. No way they draft another Hall of Famer. Right in a row, not off the bat. Aaron Rodgers wasn't there off the bat. And, that's just going to be the way it is. So I do think NFC North definitely going to be a challenging league. I don't think we're going to see a lot of superstars coming out of it, though.
I think I'm going to go ahead and kind of piggyback a little bit off of that. Um, let's talk Chicago. I know Chicago pretty well. Um, we got added DJ Moore to the team. I'm feeling real excited about that threat. His first pass in the preseason, I think we all saw it, 65 yards. It was 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and he took it all the way to the house. Um, so I like his playmaking ability back there. I like the idea of getting Devonta Foreman out there for us. um, so having Devonta Foreman in for Chicago, added with Khalil Herbert, that add up right there is going to be quite electric. I don't think anyone can tell me it won't be. Added with Justin Fields' running ability, with his line of scrimmage, um, going to be crazy. I'm excited to see how that one goes. Um, so what I'm going ahead and for, I'm going to take Minnesota probably to win the division out, and then it's going to be a flip of a coin between the Lions and the Bears. I'm going to take the Lions though in my second place position, and then obviously we're going to round out in fourth place. We're going to take Green Bay. I don't think they got too much with Jordan Love there. I think he's got some time to develop. I know he's been sitting behind Rodgers for some time. He's shown a little bit what he can be, but he's not really taken that first snap yet in week one. So until that happens, I'm going to stick with it and say that they're going to be our fourth place team as of now, which is incredible to say. They've been dominating the NFC North for as long as they have. Um, like I said, it's going to be crazy, and how that gets shaken up. And then the rest of the NFC, aside from really San Francisco, there's really not too much I really want to hash over in this area. Um, what are you thinking on the rest of the NFC? Like, it's
It's
really
really not an exciting league, man.
No,
I
not
mean, NFC North is exciting just because that's where I'm a fan of, and you guys don't even like Chicago, Detroit coin toss for second and third play. Not really, but like you guys don't even have anybody match up with Jameson Williams, who's our number 2 receiver.
no. I mean, Chicago really doesn't have that defense yet built, which is crazy to think that our offense is coming together and the defense not so much. Historically, we talk about Chicago team
Same with
dominating,
Detroit.
on
We're not an
defense.
offensive team.
Um, it's a young team too, one of the youngest in the whole league, if not the youngest in the league. Um, and they look really, really good. It's scary. How long can this team stay together and work together? Um,
Fatty Matty tore everything apart for Detroit. Hey, you know what, Bill Belichick? You have had an impact on the league, not just with great coaches, but also with the worst ever in Fatty Matty. And then you hired him back. Such a piece of shit.
yeah, it's quite crazy. But I'm a firm believer that Justin Fields is going to be an MVP candidate by the end of the season. The way that he
I
ran the
can't
ball
disagree.
last year, the way he ran the ball last year was phenomenal.
At
Breaking
the end of
some
last
records.
year.
That was all year long. I mean, he first of all, his passing was just hot garbage. I mean, it's really not there yet. And he's putting it together. Come to the end of the last season, he was starting to get some completions in.
The end of last season, the way that he was putting passing together, it pulled him off of his run. His run became more effective. Like his run came together at the end of last year because his passing came together. And he became the best prospect to come out of that class. Sorry, Trevor Lawrence.
Thank you for saying it because I did not want to be the first one to say it as a Chicago Bears fan. I am not a T-Law fan. I'm not going to root him on. I think he's just a mediocre quarterback, that gets a lot of praise because he does some very good things from time to time.
No, he looks like California from frickin' that one movie. So people love him.
Well, end of the day, Trevor Lawrence, he's doing his thing in Jacksonville, and a lot of people are giving Jacksonville a lot of praise. I saw some preseason rankings putting Jacksonville in the top 5 of the NFL, in teams, and it's like, hold on, wait a minute.
Well, I mean, they've got the coaching staff together now where they should win. We haven't had it shown. We haven't had it proven, but they should.
They should definitely be a lot better of a team. I think they need a couple more years for that team should truly develop into what they can be. And so I'm not too high on Jacksonville right now. And another team that I'm kind of getting high on at this current moment in time, and I want your opinion on it. Out in Miami, another team out in Florida. Goodness gracious, Tyreek, Jalen Waddle, Tua, who 2 years ago I would have told you that I'm not a fan of him. I didn't think he would last. Even after his injury last year and coming back, I think that he's still slinging the ball very well. I think that team is very much so
I want to
contending.
rewind back to Jacksonville real quick,
Okay.
if we can. So I think with all the hype around Jacksonville, the only thing we have to go off of is Doug Peterson is the coach there. And if they aren't to come out and win this year, there's been so much hype put around them. We can't say Doug Peterson's a good coach anymore. Like, you're saying you just changed Urban Meyer. Arguably, maybe he beat Nick Saban when he played him. Nick Saban, greatest to ever do it. Urban Meyer's right behind him. Multiple national championships as a coach, multiple programs. Nick Saban's won at LSU and Alabama. Urban Meyer has won Florida, Ohio State. Doug Peterson has won for Philly with a backup quarterback. So let's just go ahead, take a look at that. There's been so much hype put on that. Trevor Lawrence got beat by Urban Meyer in college, then couldn't figure his shit out with Urban Meyer in the pros. Doug Peterson, you just put your career on a guy that's unproven. Because if Trevor Lawrence comes out and shits the bed. It's not Trevor Lawrence's fault at this point. It's Doug Peterson's fault because of all the shit that swirled about Urban Meyer and how college coaches cannot coach the NFL. It is 1,000% on Doug Peterson.
Yeah, I could say that. So let's just give out a hypothetical here. Trevor Lawrence does shit the bed this year and he doesn't do all that well. And they decide to throw him on the bench, maybe even throw him out in a trade. Do you potentially see if he does bad this year, they go in a completely different route in quarterback and keep Doug Peterson around? Or do you think they go a different coaching route and keep him on the board? How do you see that one shaking out?
No, I think they go ahead and accept Trevor Lawrence for what he is because I didn't think he was that great coming out of college. He wasn't as good as Justin Fields. Justin Fields beat him when he played him.
Yeah, and it was quite nice to see it. I mean, the
They
way that he
they
did it,
doubled
Big
down
Ten.
on him. Oh,
So
Big Ten, yeah. But
so
I think they keep Doug Peterson. They move on from Justin Fields, and
Trevor Lawrence.
the Jacksonville franchise slides into decimal where they should have been, the same way my Lions have been for the last 50 years, and that's where they live.
I like it. I like where we're putting that at. So let's move on to another division here. A division that I'm kind of excited to kind of see how it shakes out in the NFC. I know we kind of said the rest are kind of blah. But the NFC East got a couple teams here that I'm kind of excited in seeing in Philadelphia, Dallas, and New York. Obviously, the Washington Commanders are also in that division. But I'm going to put them in fourth. And in the order that I said it, with Philadelphia, Dallas, New York, is going to be my top three in there. And I really believe that if those three teams are balling out this year, all three teams could be playoff teams.
Philadelphia, New York, Dallas. I just don't think Dak has what it has. He doesn't have it.
Yeah, but they've really been pushing that run game, and Tony Pollard. I know they just got rid of Zeke, but they picked up someone else. Off the top of my head, I'm not picking his name right now. But that run game with Tony Pollard looking very, very nice. I've been a huge fan of Tony Pollard. I've been crazy about him for quite some time now. Even when Zeke was the lead back, I was like, just throw Tony Pollard in, get rid of Zeke. Zeke's injury prone. He wasn't doing it. And so that's kind of what they did. And I'm proud to see it, and I'm glad to see it. They do have some weapons, number 88 out there looking crazy in Dallas. So I think even if Dak has the same year he had last year, this team is still destined to be, a very good team and a team to watch out for. And that's just the way that I'm seeing it right now. Philadelphia, coming out of the Super Bowl last year, there's nothing else to say. That team really kind of kept themselves together. And Jalen Hurts is going to continue to progress. If Saquon Barkley stays healthy, and he has a whole year for us, for the Giants, I should say, Saquon Barkley could be a top guy in that whole division for himself. So we have, like I said, three really great teams. Washington is a good team. Terry McLaurin really is the only guy that I'm watching heavily on in Washington. If I'm drafting anybody in a fantasy league, I'm not really picking much off that Washington team. If I do get, later round, I get Terry McLaurin on my team, I'm happy to have him. He's a great flex player. And if I have to start him, I have to start him. But again, aside from that, I'm not too high on that Washington Commanders team.
I saw Christian McCaffrey get shut down for 3 years in a row against the Big Ten teams, playing for Stanford. And I saw Saquon Barkley run over people in the Big Ten. I am a much bigger believer in Saquon Barkley as being, he just doesn't have that healthy longevity that McCaffrey really hasn't shown, but he hasn't gotten as injured. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. I
Um,
totally, I'm believing what you're saying there.
and I think Saquon definitely has it. Jalen Hurts is the best quarterback in that league, hands down. Dak Prescott, wonderful quarterback. We see Dallas is really going to a one running back system. They're putting it all on Pollard. They have CeeDee Lamb, which probably one of the best long bomb threats, young guys since
In the league we have.
yeah, no, I mean we had Ruggs, but we had Ruggs.
Yeah.
And CeeDee Lamb and Ruggs were the best long bomb threats that we had. And Ruggs obviously is, hey, rest in peace, dude. Enjoy prison. Bye. But CeeDee Lamb definitely, he's a lot of fun to watch. Dak's just, it's the quarterbacks that win it. It's not, you don't see these teams coming out there with it. What's the last mediocre quarterback you saw won the Super Bowl?
Not in my lifetime.
Yeah. I haven't seen many on mine.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Dak, Jerry Jones, I'm sorry, dude. You got to get rid of Dak if you want to win a Super Bowl, homie. It doesn't matter
That's
what
so
you put
true.
around him. He's just not it. You had Zeke, probably in his prime, best running back that I've seen in, well, ever.
Yeah.
Then he put Tony Pollard next to him and was like, oh, well, give the ball to Tony Pollard. It's not the quarterback's fault. Give the ball to Tony Pollard. Zeke is just has too much advantage. No, it's not. It's Dak is the problem on that team. You have
There's
Amari Stoudemire, best route runner, or Amari and the best route runner. CeeDee Lamb, best long threat. You have Tony Pollard, outstanding freaking running back, and Zeke. You have all the weapon. All you have to do is plug a fucking competent quarterback in. You could put Jimmy G in there. You would have won a Super Bowl.
Jimmy G's definitely giving them a Super Bowl. That offensive line's giving them enough time.
Jimmy G would have given. Dak is not as good as Jimmy G. Dak is not a good quarterback.
Wow. That's a take. That's a take. I like it though. That's a take.
Is it false? If you would put Jimmy G in that lineup, Jimmy G played in a Super Bowl. Has Dak?
No.
Did Jimmy G have the weapons that Dak had?
No.
Okay, so
No.
let's go ahead and talk about that. What would that have looked like with Jimmy G in Dallas's line? I bet you they would have won a Super Bowl. And you know how much money Jerry Jones would have saved? $12 million a year.
Yeah. First of all, that
because
Jerry Jones is just good at throwing money at players. He is good at just throwing players the bag.
Yeah, and Dak is garbage.
Yeah.
And you can't convince me otherwise, because any other quarterback any other competent quarterback, we have to say competent because you have the David Blau. David Blau may have fucking won a Super Bowl with that one.
Ooh, I'm not taking David Blau to the Super Bowl.
I'm not, but I bet he would have had the same success as what Dak did.
He didn't need time to develop. I mean, not season one. He's not doing it. Not season one.
Not season one, but
not season one.
He probably would have made it as far as Dak did in all of his seasons.
Yeah,
Dak's
absolutely.
just not special. The bottom line is Dak's a loser. And he's going to continue to lose. So long as he is the quarterback at Dallas, Dallas will be in the playoffs, but they'll never be past the second or third round. They'll make it past the wild card, yes, but they'll never play in the Super Bowl.
Okay, so
Jerry Jones has seen his last Super Bowl win.
So my question to you is then: so who's the cancer of the team? Is it Jerry Jones or is it Dak Prescott?
Jerry.
It's Jerry.
Yeah, as long as Jerry can't move past Dak Prescott, he's the cancer.
He's the cancer of the team.
And Jerry has come out and said Dak Prescott is the quarterback of our future bowl. And until he said that, it was Dak. And now Jerry has gone ahead and submitted the fact that he is the cancer of the team.
Okay. I think we can move on from that one and saying that he is the cancer of the team. But I do want to talk a little bit about kind of, going on to our next division here. We have the NFC South, just probably the worst division in all of football right now. So we don't have to spend much time on it because we got Carolina, we got Tampa, we got New Orleans, and we got Atlanta. Nothing too crazy in there. Is there any players you want to talk about? Anything exciting you want to talk about in any four of those teams?
I'm in Tampa now. Tampa's a 3-win team. The only thing I'm looking forward to is the club seats that I got when Detroit comes to town to whoop their ass.
Amen to that one. Darn, man. Living in Florida, that must be nice, you know. You got the little floral going on. Life's
Yep,
treating you
I got
well.
the floral going on. Got a little bit of a tan, more than you last saw me. A little thinner, feeling good.
Absolutely, absolutely. You know, hanging out at the beach, ladies loving it.
Oh, I don't know about all that. I'm just kind of working all the time, man. Trying to grind it
Right,
out.
right on, right on. Well, pushing on then, like I said, there's not really too anything crazy in the NFC South, but the NFC West though, we do have Arizona, and Kyler Murray and his team. DeAndre Hopkins obviously not there. Seattle,
Kyler Murray's only good till the Call of Duty update comes out. Then he sucks.
oh, absolutely. I
I
was
don't know
really
why Arizona doesn't pay to push that back till after the season. How much do you think that costs?
I, I, I don't think that there's a price they're gonna go ahead and give
you
Activision to
you
go
know what
ahead
I'm
and do
saying?
that.
Like, but that should be their first move. Like, hey, how much would it cost to push the rollout of the new Call of Duty out? Because
Just
we
just
can't
to
get our quarterback to concentrate.
just put it back to like February 27th. That's guaranteed after the Super Bowl. Give him the best opportunity to go ahead and do it,
And that's all he's got.
and then rock it out. The first part of the offseason and let him go ahead and grind out. What the offseason has to be for him going into that.
We
But
don't need him. They don't need him for the offseason. We know he's going to be the starter. He's great. Kyler
yeah.
Murray is great until the update of Call of Duty comes out.
Until that update comes out, his weapons are still going to be there. He's still going to be doing what he's doing, and that team has got a obvious shot maybe to again uh, be probably the runner up in this division, because in that division we do have San Francisco, who's going to go ahead and win it out again. It doesn't matter what quarterback they put in. It doesn't matter if it's the third string, fourth string, or the last pick in the entire draft like it was last year.
No, this comes back to just how durable Christian McCaffrey is. He's so durable. He is going to go out there. He's going to force wins, the same way he did for North Carolina, where he was the only weapon.
Yeah, and that's the happy spot they got going on in San Francisco, and they're going to continue to ride it out. And Christian McCaffrey, I don't care what quarterback they put in there. If it's
I
Brock Purdy,
actually just like they have the best coach in the league too. Like so creative. You look at their play calling. You look at their defensive scheming. He puts so much trust in his assistants. They just San Francisco has a great upper lower management all the way to player relationships, and
oh yeah, they got some fun sets, man. Just watching them play is just fun to watch.
yeah, absolutely.
Just absolutely fun to watch football. When I turn on the Octobox, on and the NFL Red Zone is one of my favorite teams to just look at. It's just San Francisco. Another team that I was really really enjoying last year in the same division was the Seahawks, and it was because of Kenneth Walker. Out of coming from Michigan State. His injury happened. Hopefully, we got a good healthy Kenneth Walker to start the season and to end it as well.
As a Michigan State fan, I saw the demise of Michigan State behind Kenneth Walker, and he's just such a dynamic player. He he can go out there. Yeah, that's pretty much the way you can stop him is by injuring him.
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
he's dynamic. He can catch. He can run. He's elusive. He's just got that it factor with him, and it's so hard to believe that Wake Forest, who had him before, was using him on 60% of downs. And you look at what he did that first year with with um, with the Seahawks. I think if he can stay healthy, he's an MVP candidate this year too, as a
Yeah,
running back.
as a running back.
Like
That's insane.
that is, he is going. He has the potential to score more touchdowns as their main weapon than really anybody.
If
So
he's if he stays healthy, I'm putting that team in second place, and I'm putting Arizona in third in that division.
yeah, and you're putting it on the back of Kenneth Walker, K9.
I'm putting it on K9 the entire time. The second he doesn't play a game, it starts to tilt the other
You look
direction.
back. You look back. What his first play for Michigan State was a 99-yard touchdown run.
Yeah,
His first play for Seattle was a 97-yard touchdown run. Like this guy's got something going on.
Yeah, the highlight ability in him
And
every time he
it's
touches
just
the ball.
ridiculous to watch. And I'm so grateful to be able to see it. I'm so happy for him. I think Mel Tucker definitely needs to send him probably. Mel Tucker got a $9.5 million year contract the year that he played for Michigan State, and I really hope that Mel Tucker sends him $8 million a year because Mel Tucker right now is worth $1.5 million max.
Yeah, that I'm really impressed in Geno Smith. I was like, back up, behind Russell Wilson, who made that team look so good. I think it's a product of the offense
I think it's
versus
a
anything
product of
else.
Pete Carroll. I think it's a
Pete
product
Carroll
of
and his
Pete Carroll.
offense.
It is
Yeah,
what it where was Russell Wilson in their offense this year? How'd they do?
they stunk
That's
it up.
rhetorical.
They
That's
stunk it
rhetorical.
up.
He sucked.
Well,
Geno
towards the end of the
Smith.
season, he started to put it together. He had a couple good games at the end of the season, but aside from that, I mean, he
Yeah,
really.
but you know what? Geno Smith, Pete Carroll makes his quarterbacks look good by the people that he surrounds them with and the way that he runs his offense.
Oh yeah,
Marshawn
and
Lynch, the Lynchquake,
yeah, beast
yeah,
mode
beast beast mode. Now Pete Carroll has his next beast mode,
and
and
K9.
like it's Pete Carroll's offense style that makes that win. It's not the quarterback. I think Geno is a good enough quarterback to make it happen.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Russell Wilson was a good enough quarterback to make it happen, but Russell Wilson was there long enough that he got a big head,
Yeah, absolutely.
thinking it was him when
What
it
I
was
liked
not.
seeing last year, what I liked seeing was the evolution of that team. They started out on the back of K9 and then letting Geno Smith kind of develop. And by the end of the season, they were letting him air it out, doing all kinds of crazy things. And it was they knew what they had and they knew what they could do at any point in time. And just to be able to evolve that team the way they did throughout the season, it might be scary, what they can do this year.
No, it really will, and especially K9 comes back healthy, where they have that threat. Geno Smith is good on his feet, a lot better than Russell Wilson.
Oh yeah.
So, like, I think they could be a great team. I think it's really exciting with Geno Smith, really, especially that comeback story of he's a great runner and he's got great accuracy.
Yeah. And
And
he
I like seeing that. And it'll just be a fun team to watch. Seattle is such a fun sports town.
Oh yeah. Oh my goodness. Electric. I watched something when it was probably 2016, 2017. I was on ESPN. They did a thing and they said it was the sound of like two Freightliners, is what it sounded like coming through. Uh Big old Navy
Dude, there
ships
is
just wailing on it.
nowhere I've ever been that is wilder than Seattle when it comes to sports. It
It
doesn't
is so
matter if it's a
loud.
Sounders game. It doesn't matter if it's a Mariners game. Like Seattle is wild. Seattle's
Yeah.
great. And they really turn up for the Seahawks. Right around that whole stadium, everything gets painted green and blue. Like it's really a special place to go to a game. If you've not been, highly recommend. So much fun. You will have a blast.
Yeah. So I mean that really I think concludes all of the NFC. I mean, I'm taking right now. I'm going to take San Francisco to go to the Super Bowl. Maybe the Eagles are my two Super Bowl contenders out of the NFC.
I think I have the Eagles, and oh man, it really pains me to not say Detroit, but I have to agree it's going to be. I don't know. I don't think Christian McCaffrey makes it through a year. So I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think the Eagles are my 90% and Detroit's my 10%.
Detroit's your 10%. Man, I'm excited to see how that all shakes out this year for us. But we do have the AFC to talk about. I'm gonna save the AFC North for last. I know we started with the North in the NFC, but I think that's probably our best division. So let's go ahead and talk about the AFC East with the Bills, the Patriots, the Jets, and Dolphins. So many good things to talk about here. So many, great teams. So many good stories. Um, Again, we kind of talked about the Dolphins a little bit earlier. With the Tua Waddle connection, and then they got, it's great looking over there for them. Is how I'm seeing it. I'm excited for the Dolphins again. The Bills, Josh Allen. I'm sorry, he's not a top 3 quarterback in the league.
No.
Everyone Everyone can shoot me in the knees. He's not a top 3 quarterback. I know we all want to say, Mahomes, Burrow, Allen. Allen's not that guy anymore. He's proven it time and time again. Just look at his numbers. I'm not going to hash him over every single time
No, I
I
think
spit on
it's
the mic.
Burrow. I think it's Burrow, Mahomes, and then somebody else.
You're putting Burrow over Mahomes.
Yes.
You're different, man. I'm gonna have to put that on the board. James says Burrow is better than Mahomes, so that because I got this big old whiteboard now in my room, so I might have to go ahead and put.
What weapons does Burrow have that is better than Travis Kelce?
Oh, he's got them all. He's got all of his weapons. I'm not gonna say it.
He's
but
got all the weapons, but no, I really think Burrow. Like you even look back to college, Burrow's just a winner.
Oh, Burrow's a winner. Like that's why they call him Joe Cool. Like
Mahomes wasn't a winner. Mahomes wasn't a winner until he went into Andy Reid's systems. Andy Reid's a winner.
Yeah,
Andy Reid's a winner. Mahomes isn't.
Oh, Mahomes forgot he is. What are you? I don't know if I can handle this absurdity saying that he is not a winner. Like, have you not seen some of the crazy?
Andy Reid is a winner. Andy Reid is a
right.
winner. He was a winner at the Eagles, and then he won with Mahomes. You give him a great fucking you give him a good quarterback, and he will win.
Great quarterback is what Mahomes is. He's the number 1 quarterback in our league.
I think Joe Burrow's better than Mahomes.
All right, we'll agree to disagree on this one.
I don't know if we can do that, Tyler, but we'll move on.
We'll definitely, as I digress, we'll move on. And then the last team in this division would have to be the Jets. Again, we kind of talked about them a little bit at the beginning. Picking up Dalvin Cook, picking up Aaron Rodgers. Is this team trying to win the division, make a push for the Super Bowl? Can they do that? And is that what they're going to do this year?
It's not going to be able, like, their defense is dominant. Salah has always had dominant defense. But will they be able to figure that offense out? That's what they're trying to do. Add those people to really figure it out.
I think that team has a very good shot at putting themselves in a Super Bowl run if they can get all the pieces to work together. They got a whole bunch of new pieces. If those pieces work together well, that team is all of a sudden looking very, very scary. So there's not too much there in the Jets. They just need everybody to work together. I've seen some videos of some fights breaking out in some of their training camp practices, which is not good at all. But if they can, get their heads, out of their ass and back on the football field, they can get it back together. They got coaches that are, clashing heads. One coach is saying, hey, we don't need to be fighting. And one coach is saying if one person's fighting, we're all fighting, go in there and just beat everybody to a bloody pulp. So there's a lot going on in the coaching area as well, aside from just the players. I mean,
it's New York. It's just going to be a fucking mess.
Yeah, and that's what I think New York is just a mess. But at the end of the day, they got all the right players to do all the right things, and I think that the Bills are still going to come out on top in that division. I think New York could be number 2. Dolphins might be number 2. Guaranteed last place in that division is going to have to be New England.
Oh yeah, there's not even a question.
Like that's it. I think number 1 is going to have to be Buffalo, unless Josh Allen really has even a worse year than he's had the past couple of years. Even then, last year he was 8th in QBR. He was,
Josh Allen. He's going to be a good QB. He is a solid. He is an Aaron Rodgers. He is a Brett Favre.
He is a very consistent.
Just going to be what it's going to be.
Absolutely. And I think that's why he's going to lead this team to another division title.
But he's in the right system. Like, that's what it comes down to. He is in the right system for him. He is, like, just the same as Tom Brady. Tom Brady was in the right system. We really can't say that anymore since he went with Tampa. But I don't know that. I think really that was just Tom Brady coaching that team and being like, hey, this is how we're going to run this game.
Oh yeah, no, he picked up every player he wanted to pick up and put on the team. Every wide receiver he wanted, he'd said, "Hey, we're gonna get him, put him on the team." He
Hmm.
basically ran the team the way he wanted to, and he was able to gunsling it the way he wanted to. Like that was definitely his team. That's totally
Yeah,
not
it
a
was
crazy
his.
statement to say.
And, that is the same way. Josh Allen is going to win games because it is the coaching style that he needs, it is the playing style that he needs, and they recognize that, and they're going to let him play that way.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm still, gonna enjoy every highlight that he has throwing to all of his targets and especially Stephon Diggs making, some crazy highlight
Oh,
plays this year. You know,
dude, that's been so much fun watching it. And Stephon Diggs is just might be the best wide receiver in the league.
ooh, Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, him, like there's some very good names.
There are some really. It's just so much fun watching the receivers now in comparison to the Derrick Henrys, the Barry Sanders, the Fridge. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's just
It's
really changed, and watching the league evolve in that way. Like, yeah, Justin Jefferson's great, but he's got Kirk Cousins thrown to him.
and he makes himself look like the number one wide receiver in the league, and he's got Kirk Cousins throwing to him. That tells you how great of a receiver this man is.
No, I don't know if Kirk Cousins, even with Michigan State, he was just accurate. I'm going to put it out there. You're going to catch it, and what you do with it afterwards is what you do with it afterwards. He
And I've
has an
seen enough of
accurate
what he does.
quarterback throwing to him, and that's why Minnesota's been as successful as they are, is because Kirk Cousins. That's why they paid his ass to come, and that's why RG3 got cut because they had great receivers, and Kirk Cousins is going to get the ball to him. What you can do with it afterwards, that's on you. And that's why Justin Jefferson's so great is because what can he do with it afterwards? That's why he's great.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. It's his ability to catch the ball. I mean, he can go up over 2-3, coverage, 2-3 man coverage, and still come down with the ball, and still end up making 5-6 extra yards after that catch. Like that's Justin
But
Jefferson for
Kirk
you.
Cousins is the guy that knows like I can throw it into that pocket. I can throw it
Yeah.
into the pocket to that guy.
Well, I think any
Like,
quarterback would know they can throw it to him in that pocket.
I don't think Dak could. I think Dak
I,
would underthrow him and throw interceptions
I
because
think
he's
Dak
already
knows
proven
to throw
that
it in
with
that
CeeDee
pocket. I don't think
Lamb,
Dak gets it to the
with
pocket.
everybody else.
I
Dak
think Dak
sucks.
knows to get it to the pocket. I don't think he gets it to the pocket.
No, he doesn't. He's just not a good quarterback.
No. Um, but again, we kind of got side railed here. We was talking about Josh Allen and Stephon Diggs and that connection. Um, but again, they're going to lead this division. So I'm putting them number one in this division. Number two, I'll let you pick who number two is. Is it going to be the Jets? Is it going to be the Dolphins? And we all know who number four is going to be, and that's going to be the Patriots.
Oh man, it's just such a toss up between the Jets and the Dolphins, but I have to go with the Jets because they're going to have a great defense. With Salah is just a defensive mastermind. Like he pulled so much out of San Francisco with that defense. They've had some great pickups, and I really think that the Jets are going to be number two in that league, and Dolphins are going to fall behind.
And I think a lot of it has to do with the last couple acquisitions that they picked up. It's a lot less of, what they are because even last year, I think what Dolphins were giving themselves a good run against them, So I think it's with more recency that the Jets are going to become that number two spot in that league and
Yeah.
solidify them in that division.
Nope.
Um,
100%.
yeah. Again, we're going to talk about another stink fest here real quick, kind of hover over it and kind of slide right past it. Jacksonville Jaguars, we kind of talked about them and Trevor Lawrence. So I think that actually in that division, I think Jacksonville might actually end up being the number one team out that division. We're having to look at teams like Houston Texans, who should have been the worst team in the NFL last year, who barely made it out.
Somehow we're
Somehow made it out. They weren't the worst team in the NFL last year. So the Texans are in that division. They're not going to win it. The Titans are in that division. That's just a Derrick Henry team, and teams are figuring out how to get around Derrick Henry. So the Titans aren't going to win that division. And then we got the Colts, and I'm very, 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 very excited about seeing what Richardson's going to do on that team.
Dude, I think Richardson's the most dynamic quarterback to come out of this draft.
Oh my
He had
goodness.
an ACL tear, and they have the weapons. I think the Colts, with him, may have a chance to actually win that division, which is crazy to say for a rookie quarterback, but he's got the receivers. He can run the ball like nobody else's business.
Yeah.
And I really think he's probably their best. I think he's the best chance at they may go on a wild card run with him.
My question to you is, do we know who their running back number 1 is going to be to
I
start the
don't know
season?
that matters. I think Richardson's the number 1 running back. Fuck everyone else.
So you're saying they're going to do what Chicago did last year and say, we got a couple guys that can run the ball, we'll be fine with it, but our quarterback will be our number 1 running back?
Yeah, but he's more accurate than Justin Fields. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't say he wasn't.
And he has more weapons. And he's got a
I'm
better
excited
defense.
to see what he can do with Pittman.
Dude, him with Pittman, we don't need more weapons. Just him with Pittman, and I really think Indianapolis. I think has that. I think Indianapolis has that conference.
You
Hands
think
down,
that
they're going to be playing the wild card.
So you think that they're going to, outbeat the Jaguars? I don't think that's crazy to say. I'm still going to put the Jacksonville Jaguars with their experience over them.
Jaguars have Doug Peterson. Outside of that, Trevor Lawrence hasn't proved anything.
He hasn't, but I think that his experience in the NFL is going to outlast Richardson, at least this year. Next year, that might be a whole different conversation.
I think Richardson would have beat him up the same way that I think Richardson would have beat him up worse than Justin Fields did in Lawrence's senior year. And that was 49-28.
Yeah. So
you got bad. That was really it was a one. Like Clemson was so favored because of Trevor Lawrence, and Trevor Lawrence has always been favored his entire career. And Justin Fields went out there and fucking dipped his dick in his mouth. And I don't think Trevor Lawrence is a good quarterback. I don't think Trevor Lawrence has it in him to win when it counts to win. And
he's a good quarterback. He's not a top 10 quarterback.
No, and I don't think Doug Peterson won with Nick Foles.
Yeah.
Doug Peterson's not a fucking winner either. He made do with what was there. And that's what he's trying to do in Jacksonville. He's a good coach. He can make a program for that quarterback. But they just don't have the ability to match the athleticism of Richardson and Pittman. Or the defense that the Colts had a great defense last year.
And I don't think they really lost too much off of that defense.
They lost like one person who was a backup.
Yeah, I don't think, like I said, I don't think they really lost too much.
They did not have much attrition, and they added Richardson to match Pittman, and just Jefferson's there still. Why are we forgetting talking about him? He's coming back healthy.
Yeah.
That's going to be a dangerous lineup, man. And I don't think there's any way. That's the Colts league to lose.
That's theirs to lose, and I think they do lose it. I think that they fall short. I'm not an Indianapolis fan. I can't stand Indianapolis. I don't like watching Indianapolis. I really hope I pray on their downfall. I pray on their downfall.
I was a season ticket holder for the last few years for Indianapolis, so I'm gonna go ahead and praise them. But I really just don't see Jacksonville is who else is gonna beat them? Jacksonville doesn't have it. Doug Peterson has, outside of playing a backup quarterback.
I think Jacksonville does better against Houston, and they do better against Tennessee than Indianapolis will do against both those teams, and that's just going to give them just the raw edge they need to win that division. I don't think it comes down to who plays, between those two games, those two teams. I think it's a split between both of them, and I think that, Jacksonville is going to do better against the other division rivals.
Okay. We'll have to wait and see. I
We'll
disagree.
have All right. So we got two more divisions. Like I said, we're gonna save the North for last. That's probably my favorite division. I think I want to talk about today. So let's go ahead into the West. We got Denver, KC, Los Angeles Chargers, and then the Raiders. Um,
Chargers gonna suck.
the Chargers.
Yep.
I'm not a Herbert fan. I'll be honest. I'm not a fan of Justin Herbert. But I will say he's a very good quarterback. He's very accurate with it with his passing.
He's
He
accurate. He has it put together. He
Very
just
nice deep
doesn't
ball,
have the
very
tool.
poised in the pocket. I really like him. I'm just not a fan of him. With that being said, I think that he has all the makings to be an elite quarterback in the league. But again, he has to go against Patrick Mahomes in that division, and he's not going to get the win over it. I think the Raiders, they're just losing too many pieces. They're not putting too much together right now. So I'm going to give the Chargers the second spot. I'm going to give Denver the fourth spot, and I'll give the Raiders the third spot in that league and
I
in
agree
that
with that.
division.
100% agree.
With that being the case, I think Russell Wilson has a better year this year than he did last year. I think Russell Wilson starts to figure it out in that team. I don't think he
But
lasts too much longer.
I don't think Russell Wilson is going to last too much longer. I think this could be the year we see Russell Wilson retire.
God, that's sad to hear. Dang, like this whole league just turning around. We got a whole bunch of 20-year-olds running around on this field now, and it's like everyone
But it's
I grew
time.
up
It's
watching
time.
is it's time. It's time for a new wave, and it's definitely becoming a wide receiver league, and it's fun to watch. Excuse me.
It makes
We got
it so much more exciting being a wide receiver league than that running back league where we're sitting there watching them pound it down each other's throats. Definitely, we have that in the NFC still. We just don't have that. It's just not the same.
So we just got a comment in right now. Let me see if I can't put it up on the screen if I could show it for us. Um, Russell Wilson's probably going to have a better year than Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't think so. I'm sorry. I think Jimmy G is too well put together right now. He's taken too many teams to playoff runs that didn't deserve it. I think that Jimmy G is far more accurate right now than Russell Wilson. He's just not on the same page as his whole team is right now.
You
What's your
know,
take on this?
I could actually see Russell if Russell Wilson. It's going to take Russell Wilson proving Pete Carroll wrong. Was Geno Smith a better quarterback than Russell Wilson? If Russell Wilson has a better year this year than Jimmy G, yeah, Pete was wrong. But if he doesn't, then Pete was right and Russell Wilson's a garbage quarterback. Are you willing to accept that fact? That's what we got to ask each other. Can you
I'm
answer
willing
that
to
real quick in the comments?
go ahead and answer that, Kyle. In the meantime, and it's just coming in right now. So let me go ahead and put that up. Not saying
There
it will
it is.
be a good year for either both. Both are pretty bad. I'm
Even if they are both pretty bad, but I'm saying if Pete Carroll said Russell Wilson's garbage when he left. Am I wrong with that? Like, no, Pete Carroll said
that's
Russell Wilson's a garbage QB when he left. If Geno Smith outperforms him again this year, Pete Carroll was right in saying Russell Wilson is a garbage quarterback. That's what I'm saying.
I
That's
think
what Pete said.
I agree with Pete.
Like, I'm really not trying to fucking split hairs here. That's what was said.
Do you agree with that or
So
disagree with that?
that's where we got to go with it.
So James, what's your take on it? I'm going to say I agree with it. That statement.
I mean, I don't, you know, I actually fucking hated Russell Wilson at Wisconsin. He beat Michigan State 1 year. We beat him 2 years. He's not that mobile. I really think Pete's the one that made him who he is. And he got a big head. And I do think I don't think he's what he's worth. I don't think he's worth what he think he's worth. So I do think Washington. He would have been better if he would have stayed at Washington. So no,
I
he's not a great QB. He's not a Hall of Famer. He is gonna go ahead and retire and never make the Hall of Fame.
he may end up having a statue somewhere. I don't know where, but he may end up having a statue.
And he should
He's just a
really go
likable
ahead
guy.
and let Pete Carroll know, thank you so much for making me as great as I was.
Oh, absolutely. So
Because Pete Carroll's a great coach. He made Geno Smith, like, we're talking about K9 winning that league with Geno Smith, DK Metcalf. DK Metcalf is a great receiver.
oh yeah, absolutely.
And
And then
but they're gonna run that league regardless of whether Russell Wilson was there or not. It may actually be better without him there.
yeah. Um I think personally the real question would be, between Russ and Geno, who's the better quarterback? And I think Geno right now is a better quarterback than Russell. Career-wise, I like the career of Russell Wilson over Geno Smith.
I don't give a fuck what you did in your career. I care about what you did for me yesterday.
And what we did yesterday, Geno Smith is a better quarterback than Russell Wilson.
Yep, 100%. What did you do for me yesterday?
And so I think we kind of digress there. We got, like I said, Kansas City gonna steamroll this division. Los Angeles is gonna be the next team up. And then it's really a flip of the coin between Denver and Las Vegas. I'm 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 a firm believer that Las Vegas is just a little bit more put together than Russell Wilson is right now. And for that, I'm going to have to give the Raiders the third spot right there. Um, but at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter if you come in third or fourth place, you're not a playoff team. Period. Point blank.
Yep.
And
No,
and the
I think you
reason
have
you're
it
not a
spot. I think you have it spot on, and that we're just splitting hairs. Who cares? Move
at
on to
at,
the
at
next one.
at the end of the day, if you're third in your division right now in the AFC, you're not going to beat out the Baltimore Ravens. You're not going to beat out the Cincinnati Bengals. You're not going to beat out the Cleveland Browns. You're not going to beat out Pittsburgh Steelers, which that is an entire division right there that I just rattled off. Can you tell me what team right there is not going to make the playoffs? Someone's not going to have to make the playoffs in that division.
Mike Tomlinson's making the playoffs.
Dude, he's had a steady decline here recently, but he's such an elite coach that I don't think that it means anything.
He is
Absolutely means nothing.
he is a great coach.
Probably second or third best coach we have. So they're making the playoffs. So let's go ahead and just pretend that they're third in the division right now. Just pretend that they're third in the division. So that means who's fourth? Is it going to be Cleveland or is it going to be Cincinnati? It's going to be Cleveland. So are we saying that the Steelers are better than Cleveland right now? James, did we lose you? I'll go ahead and answer my own question. Me personally, I think the Browns are worse than the Steelers, only just due to the mere fact that I like the defense that Tomlin has put together in that team. The Browns have a very good defense. They have a very good offense. Nick Chubb at running back right there. I mean, they have some very elite things going on, but we have to look at the quarterback play. Kenny Pickett looked pretty good last year. This year, he's going to take that sophomore jump, that second year leap that we talk about year in and year out. I think that is going to be
Kenny
the deciding
Pickett and
factor.
no, the Steelers. He is, dude. This is their first time moving on past Ben Roethlisberger. Mike Tomlin came on when Ben Roethlisberger was already the QB. He had a great run, but I think he's learned so much from him.
Oh my goodness, it's incredible. But we're
And
talking about the
Mike
bottom two
Tomlin
teams
was the
right
guy
now.
that would listen. He would sit back, he'd listen to his quarterback and say, hey, what can you do? What can't you do? And he'd
Absolutely.
base his offense off that. And we even saw glimpses of that with Kenny Pickett, where he was having Kenny Pickett move last year. And he never had that before. Completely different offense. Completely different offense.
Absolutely.
And I really think now, second year in, because they were flying by the seat of their pants. So I'm excited. I don't think they'll make it far, but I think they really have a future in front of them. With Tomlin, they're going to make the playoffs again. Like, that dude's made the playoffs more than anyone else. He makes the fucking playoffs because he just makes an offensive scheme that works for his quarterbacks. So we're going to see that again.
He's a winning quarterback, winning coach.
And we just got to deal with it. Fucking
Yeah.
Mike Tomlin.
So we're talking the Steelers third in that division. So we're going to figure out between first and second right now between Baltimore and Cincinnati. And I think that's an easy pick. Baltimore is going to be second in that division to Cincinnati. Joe Burrow is going to steamroll.
Yeah, I'll agree with that. Joe Burrow is the best quarterback in the league.
Second best quarterback in the league. We've already went over this.
Nope, nope, he is the best quarterback in the league.
But that's my point, though. Like, Lamar Jackson is now the second best quarterback in this division. Then, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy to think that Lamar Jackson, who for a period of time was holding records in the league,
most competitive league in the NFL. Yeah. Hands down, no questions asked. It just is.
It's crazy.
Lamar Jackson and Joe Burrow, and then you break it down further than that, and where do we figure it out from there?
Yeah, it's crazy.
Nobody plays competition like that. Patrick Mahomes doesn't.
It's not that deep of competition. I mean, it goes all the way down to the fourth place team. I mean, we were splitting hairs between third and fourth in that division between Cleveland and Pittsburgh. We're not talking first or second. We're talking third and fourth. We're having to really decide who's going to make the playoffs. I think 3 out of 4 teams in this division are playoff teams.
I think all 4 of these teams are playoff teams.
Oh, they can't be.
And it's really sad that they're in the same fucking division because I do think Patrick Mahomes, or I do think 2 of these quarterbacks are better than Patrick Mahomes. And the tools that he has now, not the tools that he had in 2016, because when you had Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, like, no, there wasn't a better no questions asked. There wasn't a better team. Today, are we talking about right now?
Right now.
He's not. Sorry.
All right. Again,
he just has the most weapons.
Yeah, absolutely. But does having the most weapons make you the best quarterback?
Nope.
By skill.
Nope.
So we just hit all 4 divisions in the AFC. Who are we taking as our top 1 and 2 teams in the whole division right now? I'm taking Cincinnati, and I'm going to take Kansas City again. And it freaking blows. Like, give us a different outcome.
Oh, man, I got to take Cincinnati as my number 1. And I can't bet against Patrick Mahomes, man. I still can't. But it pains me to do so. I think he's going to be the third place team. I just think the top 2 place teams are coming out of that same league.
Yeah, so I guess we never really figured out in the AFC North. It's so competitive. We kind of debate it between third and fourth. We could debate it between first and second. What is that order going to look like? I think I have Cincinnati, Baltimore. I think I have the Steelers in third, which is crazy to believe. Like, putting Tomlin that low in his own division. Like, that's his division. Nope. I'm sorry.
Yep. I agree with you. I think
that's crazy.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely. But I think, I think Tomlin and Patrick Mahomes and the Kansas City Chiefs are on the same level, but they're only making it through because they don't have to play in that league, which is really shitty.
Yeah, absolutely. So looking at it here, question comes in: Kansas City or Cincinnati? Who's number 1 and who's number 2 in this division? We know that they're both Kansas City.
City's number 2.
Kansas City's number 2. I like that idea only just because of the weapons that we have in Cincinnati right now.
Well, I mean, Joe Burrow's just a better quarterback.
I'm not agreeing with that statement, but I will agree with the fact he's got more weapons and he's able to do a lot more.
Okay. Well, what did Patrick Mahomes win without weapons when he was at Texas? Texas TCU?
We're going back, what, 4 or 5 years now?
No, yeah, because that's when we have to take his weapons away when he didn't have Tyreek Hill, when he didn't have Travis Kelsey, and when he didn't have Andy Reid calling his plays.
Yeah.
So
Well, I
let's
think
go
I
ahead
think we
and talk
agree
about
though.
that. I think Joe Burrow is a better quarterback. Joe Cool is a winner.
He is a winner and he's going to be around for a long time doing some very great things. But I think that he is going to be catching up to Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes right now is our leader in the quarterback race right now. Hands down.
I don't agree. But that's why we're here. We're here to
That's
talk
a,
about it.
we're here to talk about it, debate it, put it through the end. Do you have any closing thoughts for us, as we try to wrap this up as we hit all 4 divisions today or all 8 divisions? My bad.
Dude, we've covered so much right now. My brain's fucking dead. I've been drinking through this whole thing too, and we're having so much fun.
We're having so
But
much fun. It's a blast. We're gonna be back again
I
next week.
appreciate you guys holding out, asking us questions. I just really think, no, Patrick Mahomes isn't it, man. Nope.
Yeah,
Not my guy.
absolutely. Well, as we wrap it up, go ahead, take a look. I put a link in our description in this episode to our merch store. You can go ahead and actually go get yourself some Red Sports merch. Also, do look out. We are going to be here every single week on what's today, Thursday. So every single Thursday, we're going to be here around 8:30, 9 o'clock. I will go ahead and keep those posted out on our social medias.
We're gonna move
We,
this. We're gonna move this forward just so we're in front of Thursday night football, helping you out with some of your fantasy picks.
Absolutely. And then to kind of conclude it all the way through, it's been a pleasure, and then we are going to be on TikTok as well. So we are going to take some clips from here, put it on TikTok. So if you ever are curious and have some questions for us, you can go ahead and shoot some questions there for us as well.
Have a good night, guys.
Have a good night,
Thanks,
man.
Tyler.
Yep. See you next week.
Bye.